Holy turnips! What's Chef Archie Pie cooking today? Spiced root veggie mash with rutabaga, carrots and onions. Let's get cracking, shall we?
Hi everyone, today I'm going to make Swede and carrot mash. Now in the States you guys call it rutabaga. This is the object. It's big, it's kind of yellowy orange if you like, and we have to take off a fair amount of the skin. In this mash it's going to be a really beautiful vegetable mash, and we're going to have swede and we're going to have carrots, but I'm going to mash it with a gorgeous mixture of onions fried in butter, and they're going to be slightly spiced up with a few herbs and spices. We will address that a few minutes time into the video, but for now I want to show you how to prepare a swede or a rutabaga. So I'm going to take the top and tail off first, as we do with all root vegetables. Let's take the top off, and if you have a little look underneath the top you can see the flesh, and you can see the layer here. There's a layer between the flesh and the skin. I suppose on an orange that would be called the pith, the layer between the edible flesh and the actual skin that we discard. And it's the same with the swede. So with the bottom of the swede, the bit that that's the end of the swede that's submerged into the soil, that's been cut off cleanly. So with that, the layer isn't so apparent there, but with the top it is. So how do we now peel this swede? There's only one way of doing it really, and that is to take off bits. And this way, the great thing about doing it this way, you're keeping the swede firmly on the chopping board, and we're just peeling away the top part, and we're doing it gradually. And yes, this is going to take you a few minutes, but this is the safe way of doing it, and this is also the way that means you don't have to go over it afterwards. At least this way we get all the unwanted skin off in one go. If you can do it with a peeler, but I promise you with a peeler you'll have to do it twice to get rid of that awful second layer that's just going to ruin our mash, because the second layer is too fibrous, too tough. You can see now that mostly we've got rid of the unwanted bits. Now, if you feel there's still a few bits that you want to trim off, then do it. So now we're going to prepare it for mashing. I'm going to cut it in half. Quite difficult, not easy to cut in half, so make sure you use a big knife. I'm going to cut it in half, and I'm going to cut it into cubes. And I want the swede and the carrot to be of a similar size in the water so they cook evenly. But what I will tell you is the swede will cook quite a long time before the carrot. The swede, if it's ripe and ready, it will cook a good 10 minutes before the carrot. Bear in mind we want to end up with a nice soft mash here. So I've got roughly the same weight in carrots. There might be about 4 ounces difference. So we've got around about £1 6 ounces of prepared swede, and I've got about £1 10 ounces of peeled carrots here. And these carrots are pretty much I'm quite fortunate that the carrots are the same size, because it just means I can chop a few of the carrots at the same time. And obviously you want to keep the carrots at a similar size of the swede, so it just means as they're all the same size, it means I can take half a dozen carrots and cut them at the same time, to save doing them one by one, which is great because it saves time and effort. So let's get those out of the way. All the carrots chopped into a similar sized chunk to the swede and the cover the Swede and carrots with water. Cover them completely. I'm going to add around a half teaspoon of salt. So this is going to take around 25 to 30 minutes. Halfway through cooking the Swede and carrot, we're going to add some diced potato. The reason for this is the potato will only take 10 minutes to get soft. When we mash our root vegetables, the potato is going to be there to absorb some of the surplus liquid. The problem with Swede and carrot, after you've drained them, there's going to be quite a lot of residual liquid left. Now, yes, you can return it to the stove to get rid of some of the liquid, but you know, after you've made that mash, I guarantee you 2 hours after mashing it, you're going to have a little pool of liquid floating on the top. The potato is going to be there to stop that happening. The potato, as it's a starch, is going to stop the liquid gathering a few hours after you've mashed from the top. In this frying pan, I've got 2 large onions that I've diced. I've got about an ounce of butter. And I'm also going to put a tablespoon of olive oil in as well. Because as we all know by now, if we just fry in butter, the butter will burn. The presence of olive oil will stop the butter from burning. So let's start frying our onions. So the onions have been frying for 8 minutes and they're beautifully soft, just starting to turn brown. I'm now going to add 3 teaspoons of mild curry powder. Okay, I'm going to mix that curry powder in to the onions and cook it over low heat for about 3 minutes. Okay, so a tablespoon of brown sugar goes in there. So what we're trying to achieve a sweet curried onion mix to add to our mashed roots. And I promise you, the end flavour is truly fantastic. So the Swede and carrot have had about 12 minutes from boiling. I'm now going to add of diced potato. Don't forget, weights of everything is going to be in the description below. And I'm not sure, I'm hoping you can get an accurate picture of how soft these
About
vegetables
12 ounces.
So just to demonstrate how soft they are, there's the fork, and the fork is mashing up the carrot and the potato and the Swede effortlessly. So I've just drained all the water off. There's probably still a little bit in the bottom, but I'm only going to give it about 30 seconds on the flame now, because most of the liquid has cooked off, and what hasn't cooked off will be absorbed by the starchiness of the potato. So I'm going to start to mash it slowly over the flame just for about 30 seconds. And the great thing about doing it this way is you get some impression of how much moisture is left in your mash. And as you can see, there pretty much isn't a great deal. But we're going to just leave it there. As I said before, I would leave it on that flame for a further minute. In goes the onions with our mild curry powder and our butter. And I'm just going to mix this up. I'm going to put a few peas in there, only about a cupful. So, our mash now is pretty much ready. We're going to season it. I'm going to add just a little bit of extra butter. And now I'm going to season it with some pepper. I'll put in about a teaspoon of salt. And now I'm going to give it a bit of a taste. Let's get the fork. And don't forget, this is nothing like mashed potato. It's a lot wetter. It's a lot chunkier. There's bits in there, chunks in there, but it's quite smooth. Absolutely wonderful. I could quite easily eat a whole plate of that. So there we have it. Rutabaga Swede in brackets with carrot, onion, a little bit of curry, bit of sugar, some butter. Fabulous addition to your dinner party or to your roast, whatever. It really does go with pretty much anything. Any vegetarians out there, this is fabulous with a big pile of rice or pasta or couscous. And the other thing I did with this once, many years ago, I had a big pile of it with a couple of fried eggs on top. And I tell you, it was wonderful. If you've enjoyed watching the video, would you please like, share or subscribe? And to find out about my next video, please press the notification bell. And if you want to leave a comment or engage in any way, please do. This is Chef Archie Pie sending everybody lots of love. And please do take care of yourselves, and I'll see everyone very, very soon.